Good evening, you're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Choudhry. The big story that exploded in the state of Maharashtra, in Mumbai today, the political storm raised by the Rana couple over Hanuman Chalisa doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. It's been a major setback for the Amravati MP Navneet Rana and her husband MLA Ravi Rana. The Bombay High Court today, in what many would say a controversial decision, dismissed their plea, seeking quashing of FIR against them. The court also wrapped the couple, saying that persons in public life are expected to act responsibly. The court said that the action by the state government is justified. Meanwhile, Navneet, in a letter to the Lok Sabha Speaker, has levelled charges of torture by Mumbai police. She has alleged that she was being targeted because she belongs to what she says was the lower caste. The Lok Sabha Secretariat has sought a report from the Maharashtra government within the next 24 hours on Navneet Rana's allegations of caste slurs in custody. The BJP has gone out in full support of Navneet Rana and her husband and are now attacking the government on A, using the charge of sedition, and B, that the Shiv Sena is anti-Hindu because all that the Rana couple wanted was to recite Hanuman Chalisa. I want to cut across right now to Shiv Sena Rajya Sabha MP Priyanka Chaturvedi joins us live. Appreciate you joining us, Ms. Chaturvedi, and to the point. My first question, ma'am, leave alone what the Bombay High Court did today, whether it dismissed the bail plea or not. But many questions today are being raised on the conduct of the police of Maharashtra, on why on earth would you slap sedition charges here? What was the need?
So that is something for the Mumbai police to do what they see is needed, and what was the need of the hour to ensure law and order prevails in a city which is one of the safest cities in the world and which follows the law and order amongst one of the best in the world. Mumbai police, which is compared to the Scotland Yard of the world. So they have to maintain the standards that is expected of them. And if they have considered the reasons enough to use this particular section, they will justify that in the court of law. And that is for the court to decide whether it is right or wrong. Now, having said that, you had the Chief Minister's personal residence coming under a law and order issue. You had someone who is a person of authority and an elected representative who is going on challenging the law and order situation, who also bypasses the Mumbai police notice that not to do this, who also misbehaves with the police force, who also uses the most abusive words for the Chief Minister, who is an elected representative of the state, and who also totally disregards the fact that the Prime Minister of India would be in the same city where she is creating this ruckus in. Having kept all of this in mind, an additional section was applied after her total non-cooperation. Mumbai High Court has refused to dismiss the FIR as petitioned by the two accused. Now it is for the courts to decide, and for the Mumbai High Court, for the Mumbai police to put its best foot forward and explain why they did what they did. As a government, and as someone who's part of the government, and as a spokesperson of Shiv Sena, all I can say is that law and order is supreme in the state of Maharashtra, and nobody, for their cheap politics, will invoke the name of God and use God for their own political vote bank. We will not allow that.
Ms. Chaturvedi, I will ask you as somebody, like you said, who's the spokesperson of the Shiv Sena, I will ask you as somebody who's part of the government. Many times, ma'am, you included, have come on my show and you have said that the centre uses its state machinery to target the Shiv Sena and the Mahagadi government, or even in other states. You have given the example of the CBI. You've given many examples of the centre machinery being used to target political parties. How are you different this time, ma'am? Because your police has also slapped somebody for sedition where it doesn't apply.
CBI, IT, Narcotics Bureau. Not just in the state of Maharashtra. You take it in West Bengal, you look at Delhi, you look at Andhra Pradesh, you look at Telangana, you look at all the non-BJP states, you will have your answer. You also look at this as an election mechanism, that whenever election is round the corner, who are the people who are raided by income tax, who are the people who are raided by CBI? You will have your answer. However, again, it is Maharashtra which has exposed how Bharatiya Janata Party has used the central agencies as a tool for their election campaigning and to continue being in power. whether it was the Narcotics Bureau when the drug case was, was filed. We exposed how Narcotics Bureau was working. CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, stepped in when a suicide case was reported and murder charges murder conspiracies were floating around. Mumbai police was demeaned. Mumbai police was called all kind of names. Mumbai police had fingers pointed at it. What happened to the CBI final closure report? We still don't have it. Now comes to the ED. Now we all know ED, the kind of charge sheets that they are filing are all being questioned with no truth behind it. So we have exposed these central agencies being used or misused by this government, and we will continue doing that. Now, however, coming to Maharashtra, like I said, Mumbai police was given total authority, and they have the authority and jurisdiction to decide what is a problem that can lead to worsening of law and order situation in the city, and they have been given a total free hand to do what they have. Considering that they have been given a free hand, today the Mumbai High Court, again judiciary, has upheld the charges against them, and also told them how dignified behavior should be and how elected representatives should use their power. So I will not speak anything further, and these charges totally do not apply to the state of Maharashtra about misusing of state agencies, because at every point in time the Mumbai police has stood vindicated from all the charges levied at them by the opposition of Maharashtra.
But madam, one thing is that the same Mumbai police that you are lauding is today stands, accused of using charges or applying charges which just don't quite apply. Well, that is, what the Mumbai police is being slammed for. But I'd also ask you what the opposition calls you. Why are any charges being applied to this couple? Because the opposition says all they wanted to do was recite the Hanuman Chalisa. So they are calling you, the Shiv Sena, anti-Hindu.
We don't need to carry our Hindu certificates or seek Hindu certificates from those people who have only used Hindus as mere vote banks and still created joblessness not just for the Hindus but even for the Muslims, for the Christians and the Sikhs of this country. Indians is what I call them. We refuse to take the Hinduism certificate from those who have only created divide and hate in the society, which goes against the very principles of how Hindutva governance should be. We refuse to take this Hindutva certificate from a political party which only has totally mechanized the idea of divide and rule right from Uttar Pradesh to down Karnataka. So we refuse to take that certificate from them. Having said that, as far as we are concerned, law and order will prevail. We are a democratic country with constitutional norms in place and constitutional institutions in place. We are not here to abuse authority. We are here to ensure that authority gets to do the job it is supposed to be doing, and that is what we will continue to do. So all the opposition charges, they can continue to scream their lungs out. Today they are the ones who stand exposed. And last but not the least, about the Hanuman Chalisa. Just one thing about the Hanuman Chalisa here. Absolutely no problem with people reciting the Hanuman Chalisa, but they have to be truly devotees of Hanuman, rather than those who had a problem with the Jai Shri Ram slogan in 2019 on record and have overnight turned into Hanuman Bhakt because it suits the politics of the agent that they have become, of a political party agent that they have become. So I would not want to call them the true bhakts of Hinduism. And last but not the least,
Ma'am, appreciate you joining us. Your answer to the opposition aside, but questions will continue to be raised on why is it today that this couple, whatever their ideology might be, whatever is it that they wanted to do in the context of reciting the Hanuman Chalisa, does that invite the charge of sedition is a question that needs to be asked and needs to be answered. Till now, most states have used state machinery to suit themselves, and sedition is a very easy tool there. Appreciate you joining us, Ms. Chaturvedi. Thank you for taking out the time. Let's try and get some legal opinion on the charge of sedition. What is it that the Supreme Court has actually observed on sedition? And it's red flagged the charge of sedition not one time, viewers, many times over. Let's take you through on what has been the Supreme Court observation on various states using sedition.